Hello and welcome to In Conversation with WLV Doctoral College. I'm Dr. Deborah Curison and I work in research and development at the University of Wolverhampton.
And I'm Dr. Ben Halligan. I'm Director of the Doctoral College.
We've decided that we're going to do a series of vlogs around careers and looking for a career post-doctorate. So today's vlog is going to look at when is the ideal time to start applying for that first role post-doctorate.
Gosh, do you know, I think it's a good thing to start looking at the jobs that are available, even when you're in the middle of the doctorate, be it academic jobs or non-academic jobs. It might be a good idea to keep an eye on a couple of websites, look at the job specs, look at the expectations, so you've got a good sense of what's out there, of how you'll need to position yourself when the time is right.
And by doing that, it will give you an idea of how you can use the skills development programme at the university to help you develop some of those skills and those transferable skills that you'll need for the roles that you're going to apply for. And also to use our careers service as well at the university to help you explore how you can evidence some of those skills that are being asked for in the roles that you're looking at.
Absolutely. So I mean, if there's a consistency of a request for somebody who could use a certain software package, which you may not be doing as part of your research, well, you may be in a situation where you can become familiar with it and gain that for your CV. So, that's going to be a useful thing to know. It's time to get that box ticked.
If you're looking for an academic post, it's usual that you try and get some teaching experience as part of your doctorate as well. So you'd start to look at how you might get some teaching experience, whether that's a VL role or whether that's doing some co-teaching with your supervisors or just some voluntary experience, sort of co-teaching with somebody along the way. So if you're looking at the roles as they're coming up, you're starting to be aware of what skills you need to be accumulating through the doctorate.
But I mean, this question of when do you begin is quite important. I mean, I'm quite split on this because on the one hand, I think that you should maybe not waste any time, not do things in a linear progression, but when you're towards the end of your PhD, you should maybe, if you're looking for an academic job, start getting applications out there, because these things can take some time. You need experience, which comes from applying for jobs, maybe being interviewed for jobs. So start that early is not a bad idea. You're probably going to use a formulation around, I'm in the final year of my PhD or I'm nearing completion of my PhD, which may work with some employers, it may not work with others. I mean, you may need to be quite specific.
Yes.
I'm aiming to submit in January, or I'm completing the corrections of the PhD. So in a way, I think that it may not be a bad idea to start, towards the end of the PhD. Having said that, and this is like the other point of view, if you're successful and you do actually do that, it could be very damaging to the completion of the PhD. You can automatically double or if not triple the amount of time that it may then take to submit the PhD. So you've got to be slightly wary of success in this respect. And the person that maybe fully finishes the PhD is then free to go ahead and apply and see if they can snag the jobs that they're after. So I'm not entirely sure what the answer is to this particular. I mean, I guess it depends on the kind of job and the kind of area and the frequency of those jobs.
Yeah. So, getting interview experience is really important, and there are ways that you can do that through the doctoral college. We have an employability conference every year during Careers Week. So you can come and experience being interviewed for an academic job by the type of people who would be interviewing you for academic roles. But also just getting out there and applying for jobs and getting that experience is really valuable, because you might not get the jobs because you haven't finished your doctorate, but it will allow you to get some feedback on jobs and your interview style and your application. So that in itself is a useful experience. But what, like you say, you've got to try and balance completing the doctorate and working. When I did my doctorate, once I'd got a full draft of my thesis, I upped my VL work and did a lot more VL work, and then off the back of my VL work then applied for a postdoc at another university, and then did that postdoc whilst I was completing the rest of my final draft. Excuse me, I'm going to have losing my voice. But I had to be honest with them when I took that job, how far away I was from completing. So they gave me 6 months where they gave me support. So I took half a day a week to work on my doctorate to ensure that it was completed within that 6 month period.
I mean, most employers, if they're academic or maybe NHS or medical matters, would be sympathetic towards someone who's completing their PhD, because they know it can take a while for this to be done, for it to be signed off and awarded. And they often quite like to appoint people who are at the very end of their PhD, because it will be done in due course, and then you've got, a new person you've employed and it's their first position and they're going to be quite engaged in that position and so forth.
Yep.
So a lot of employers are very sympathetic towards that, I think, and I think that's worth bearing in mind.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth, watching your colleagues who are doing PhDs with you. What have they done? Has it worked for them? Have they got another job? What did they do in the interview? And gaining some advice, or people who are a year or two ahead of you on their particular research journey, and what are they getting up to, and what's working and what isn't. That's really an interesting example to look to as well.
Also, getting involved in networks in your field is really important, because you'll get to know about the jobs that are upcoming. People will get to know you and see who you are and how you present yourself, and certainly that's where you get to know of jobs before they're put out to advert. You can have those informal chats with people. People, will know if you're networking and presenting a really positive image. People are likely to think more favourably of you because they've seen you present, they've seen you at events. They know that you're engaged in the field.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, top tips for when to make, or top tips about when not to, advice.
Well, I would start thinking early,
Yeah.
number one. And then number two, you probably won't get the first thing you're interviewed for.
Yeah.
So build up some experience. So by the third or the fourth interview, you are a confident person, you're relaxed, you're putting yourself across in the way that you need to. That perhaps is a very valuable journey to begin when you're still engaged in PhD research.
And mine would be don't be scared to make applications, and don't be scared to ask for feedback, because people will happily give you feedback on an application, particularly if you're in an early career point, completing a PhD or an early career researcher. People are happy to give you feedback to help you develop. Okay. So thank you for listening to this vlog. As always, if you like our vlogs, please subscribe to our channel. You can always also click the button for notifications for when we release new vlogs. Vlogs are released usually every Friday, and we're always interested to hear about areas that you'd like us to cover in the vlog, so do put comments below. So thank you for listening, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.